Oh, there we go. We're live. Okay, cool. YouTube decided that it wanted to give me some help tips. Where I'm setting up my camera makes a lot of sense. Is that too much light? Let's see how I'm gonna fix this for you guys. Alright. You can see my undercarriage where I hide all my dog stuff. And the compensator, get some drink out of the bottle to start our stream. Here we go. What are we drinking today? Drink some of this shit. The joys of being a bachelor. Give this stream a couple of seconds. See if anybody pops in. How is that? It's the first time I'm doing the stream. It's overcast, so it's a little funky getting this light set up. What's up, guys? Okay, so first thing on the agenda. The Discord is up for the first week. I think we got between 5 and 10 members. I haven't really been checking too much. But I need you guys' help, to start this community thing up. I can't do it with myself, especially with the entire internet against me. The many of you guys know that all of my social media is crazy restricted. I guess the AI has labeled me a conservative or something, but I'm getting the poop end of the stick in every direction. So I need you guys to help out if you want to build a community. I'm also going to be doing some free form lessons and seminars in the Discord and inviting other instructors to do the same once we get this set up. So it's up to you guys to promote the channel. I can't do this by myself, guys. All right, it's it's way too much weight on my shoulders for one guy. Okay, so last time we went over some form things. No, the last one was the weird lever thing. Before that, we were talking about form. We'll get back to the form and talk about form for fighting and how you have to change some things in order to make it work. The mistake with the Yang style and the short or the main form that most people do, they'll do one form, and they do the form at the same speed with the same quality every time. It doesn't make sense, okay? And I've made a lot of different changes to my form. I don't even know where to start because I've done the form so many different versions of the form in so many different ways. I also did my 2+ years of training the form. I just do the form back to back 3 times, twice a day for 2.5 years straight to see if I could develop the body. And that was the method that I used. But during that, I learned a lot of different things from going to meetups, whatever. But fast forward, one of my my friends from the meetups, who was one of my Tai Chi tutors, George, was really, really good. He had said to me once that his teacher said that you should not be doing the form at the same speed every day. I know the Chen Men chain lineages and the branches, they all say, the short forms take about 8 minutes to do, right? That's great, but life isn't a constant like that. Okay, there's no perfect circle. Everything's like a little curvy linear. So what he was saying is that you should do the form at the rhythm of your body that day. And for the average person, I think that is, I would purposely do, for instance, one day I would do right side, left side, right side. And the other day I would do slow, fast, slow. And I would go back and forth with that. Now I'm only doing the left side form for a couple of months to see how my body reacts to as a test, and see if it helps me displace some issues with the body. But the concept of changing the speed first is one of the things I think is very important to people, because if you're constantly doing the form the exact same way, you're going to get the exact same results, and that doesn't make sense. Okay. So I wanted to go over how that looked like and how I wound up adapting the extra steps in the form and the real reason why. I'm going to try to make a kind of short video for you guys today. But I'm going to do a basic version of my form has a lot of extra twists and turns and stuff. But I just want to give you an idea. So let's just do a basic version of the form, okay? and this will be like a normal count most people will do, right? You'll see this kind of speed, and you'll do this speed forever, okay? This is nice, okay? But there's a problem with doing things this slow, okay? It's great for coordination and stability, and to relax and swing and all that good stuff. It's great. But what you're not feeling is the weight distribution and what happens when your body has to stabilize with inertia. So when you start to deal with push hands and oncoming forces, what are you dealing with? External forces trying to manipulate your center of mass and balance. So you can simulate that by just actually speeding up the form. Okay? So what you should try to do is just to do the steps at double speed. Okay? So do the whole form at double speed. But the form looking like this feels completely different. It'll feel different when you're moving at this speed than it does when you're moving at this speed. Okay? And the fluids in your body start to react. And this is the main reason why I change the form so much and I do this extra step, is because I want to get the feeling of the blood shifting. In the beginning, you have to do the form relaxed and slow to release all the excess tension of the phasic muscles and all that stuff. But once you get to that point where you feel that you're using your frame and just the tendons and the tonic muscle to move everything, you feel that relaxedness, the next thing I want to feel is I want to feel the blood rushing through my body. And one thing I would say, like, if you're doing the form correctly, you should see blotches in the bottom of your hand. So like you're from the oxidation and the blood circulation, you should see like little blood spots, like you'll have like white, red spots in your palm. That's a good sign that you're doing the form correctly, right? But when you get to that place, you should be able to feel literally the fluids and momentum in your body from shifting. And it's kind of like the compression and refraction thing, where you feel you're getting sucked in afterwards, or like your momentum, your inertia moves, and then you feel like you kind of still want to get dragged in. That's the feeling that I want to have as a baseline to learn how to throw body weight into a punch, right? If you look at the cloud hands, the cloud has 1,000 applications, but when you're talking about just the boxing, that's Mike Tyson's move right there, his cloud hands, okay? It's literally, this is all Mike Tyson right here, okay? It's cloud hands. You want to see good Tai Chi, you look at Mike Tyson. Right? That's like the best Tai Chi boxer around. But going back to the point of the fluids transferring, you're not going to feel that if you're doing the steps like this, because you're not dealing with inertia. The blood is settling, orthostatic hypertension. Like the same idea, like when you lay down and you sit up too fast, or you're sitting down, you stand up too fast, and you get like that dizzy feeling because the blood from your head. Basically, you're sitting here, and then the pressure from the body, from the body is keeping the blood this level. And you stand up really fast, the blood that was in your head is still here, and you don't have enough pressure in your heart and your limbs to keep the blood in your head, right? You want to start to learn how to use the transfer of fluid into your body shots, okay? And that's a part of the reason why, when you're talking about the hollow fist, or, the idea is that, how do I explain this? If I was to keep a really, really tight fist, I have one, energy going this way, one that way, that's great. But another issue is that it actually stops the fluid transfer. So I want to have that like you're shaking snot off your hand, and the blood is the snot. I'm shaking it out. So it's like if I feel that punch, it's not just this that goes out. There's a wave. It's like a fluid, like a fluid. We're in a fluid medium, right? Which is basically air. It's just that the molecules are split apart. So if I was to throw a punch like this at you, you'd feel the wind in your face. Okay? So going back to the form, just by speeding up your steps, just to double time, so an 8-minute form to 4 minutes, which is, right, and this is really my favorite speed to practice at, is about the 4-minute mark for the basic short form, okay? And the reason for this is because you can start to feel the fluid transfer. You actually feel the wave, and you have to actually deal with that stability. Also, you'll notice by speeding up your steps, you're going to find deficiencies in your form, because a lot of these forms have been modified over time for that context, to be done slow. And when you do that, you change the anatomy, you change the form, because things that are done, for instance, playing guitar or playing drums. I teach this, right? When I used to give drum and guitar lessons. The muscles that you use to do something fast are not the muscles you use to do something slow. There's a different sequence. There's different muscles, type 1, type 2, type 2A, right? So when you're dealing with propulsion and also we call dynamic stability or static mobility, whichever term you trainers want to use. But I always refer to dynamic stability, okay? Meaning I'm trying to stabilize while in motion, right? So they call it static mobility sometimes, but I think that's a stupid oxymoron in a sense because, I can be dynamically moving and trying to stabilize, but I can't be static and mobile. So I never got that one. Anyway, so dynamic stability is really what I'm talking about. So by changing the velocity and dealing with the inertia, you will now have to activate not just other stabilizers, but you'll have to use the phasic contact muscles in a different sequence because of the way the body is acting in space. So this is very important, being able to transfer this to fighting, because I see a lot of guys who are good at the form and they go to push hands and they look stiff and retarded because you've trained yourself at a speed and a pulse interval that is not the same and your body's not going to react the same way. All right? So, at this speed, I have to act differently. Okay, the way that my body wants to react to these forces is not the same if I'm doing it at this speed. Okay, it's not the same. So I would definitely encourage you guys to start practicing just by speeding up. Not to be at crazy speed. Okay, if your form takes 8 minutes, do it at 4. All right, and that's just for that example. Because you're not going to get that wave power. Right, and that's the thing about Tai Chi is that, especially the yang style, okay, is they become so stuck on the soft power and what's different about their family lineage that they threw out the baby and the bathwater. Okay, now they're just left with a tub. A tub that doesn't move. Okay, it doesn't make any sense. So, so I'm just throwing some random stuff out there for you. All right. So we're going to analyze how I do. So let's go to this side because it'll be easy for you to see me. Okay. So let's just say we just did a little. Okay. So I get to this point. I could just turn it over and then do my normal, like how you see normal people now probably do, right? The reason why I got away from that is because in real life you're never stationary. Okay. In real life, I'm never going to get into a position where someone's going to be in front of me and I'm going to go like this and we're going to have a fight where our feet don't move. Okay? It's like anything that stops moving dies. So you want to have as many steps as you possibly can. The more times you get to stabilize and change position and change axis, the better. Okay? So I don't just want to do like William Chen and just tie up. No, I want an active step. So I come in, I step, I shift, and then I literally sit in. Okay, so this is an active step. And then I sit down on that. Then I actively step again. And then I sit back on that. And I actively step again. Okay, so there's no passive stepping. The passivity comes from, if I want to step forward, I can, basically what I can do is I can activate this hip and push into it, or I can drop this hip and basically open the glove or relax this girdle. If you have a shoulder girdle and hip girdle, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually turn this off. So I turn the stabilizer off and it makes me want to roll like this. So if I'm in this position and I can either from this side use my glute and open this hip and force myself into this section, or I can turn all the stabilizers off and roll myself into a corner like a spider like this. Okay? Now I'm actually not going to go that far. Again, like over the last lesson, that first flinch response, I'm just going to breathe in and open up. What I'm trying to do here is just turn this off. And once I turn this off, I start the wheel flowing, I start my momentum. And once the momentum catches on, I now re-engage my stabilizers to catch myself. At that point is when I will start the active shift. Okay? So I'm going to explain this with drums for a second, okay? Because a lot of my theory, everything wraps together. A lot of drummers, when they hit something, they're hitting and then they're pulling. That's something called open close, right? Where they'll drop the stick and they'll pull the hand up. You can say, what the hell is he talking about drumming for? So here we have one, you have two. What I'm saying is, instead of that, I'm going to do passive, where I'm going to drop the weight of my hand, and then I'm just going to pull my hand back, right? And then have open close, right? But even then, a lot of drummers, what they'll do is they'll actively, against the stick, they're going to hit it and then pull it back. Instead, what I'm going to do is, as the stick wants to automatically come back, I'm going to follow it instead. So one would be me actively re-engaging, impacting, and then pulling. The other one will be letting it start to flow and then chasing it and pushing it. Okay? So it looks the same, but it's really different from the inside. Okay? So I don't have to initiate from this side. I can initiate passively and then actively moving forward. Okay? So I'm trying to figure out a linear way to explain hundreds of techniques I've adopted over 25 to 30 years that allows me to hit so hard. Okay, and then share it with you guys while I'm still around. So anyway, we're on this leg. Okay, fine. Now at this point, I want to turn. I'm going to relax this section of keeping me in position. I'm going to relax that, and automatically start to spin. Once I start that spin, it's because I'm actually relaxing the thing that's keeping me in place on this hinge, this axis. Okay? So at that point, if I don't use my stabilizers, I'm going to go into a ball and spiral this way. Instead, I'm going to change the axis by sitting down and releasing my under my butt, and that's going to spin the other way. So I have this spiral thing happening. Right? I'm trying to over-exaggerate this, guys. Obviously, when I'm doing the form, you can't tell the difference between I do and somebody else does it. Same as drums or guitar. I may look like I'm playing the same way, but I'm actually using Tai Chi theory. Okay, and I'm doing it almost backwards how everybody else is doing it. But you can't see it. So I've been trying to mull over, how do I explain this to people? Okay? Because there's so many fine details that I've added, it's very difficult. So, all right, going to that step. Okay, at this point, I've shifted. Now, I'm still using stabilizers here, right? So it's keeping me forward. I'm going slow, right? I'm stuck. Well, I'm here, and I get stuck. What I want to happen is turn this off. And once I turn this off, I want to just collapse. Okay? So what I'm trying to use is that natural momentum that comes from turning on and off stabilizers. And then I actively push. And this is a very fine detail. And I don't think most people get it. I think the high level guys get it on accident. Okay? So as I step here, I'm going to put my foot down. And then I'm going to shift my weight and push. How it's normally taught, right? I don't want to shift my weight. I want my weight to shift naturally by me turning something off. So one of the ways I usually teach this is a teeter-totter. Like, you kind of go like this. And the form should feel like this for a while. Okay? It looks ridiculous, but I know it looks stupid right now, but think about what I'm trying to explain to you guys. Okay? I'm just trying to use counterbalance to get power. Okay? The counterbalance is what gets my momentum. Now I want to get this counterbalance to be in a linear plane. Okay? How can I get that counterbalance in a linear plane if I'm using all my stabilizers and my girdles to keep me from falling and going really slow? So you're saying you're not using muscle. You're saying I'm so soft. I guarantee you none of you guys are soft in your hips. I guarantee you all you guys are jumped up in here. Because how can you be doing this and controlling the shift and controlling the momentum if you're not tense? The tension is somewhere. Okay? So tension isn't bad. Inefficient or tension is not where it should be is the problem. So what I say is by speeding up the form, it allows you to relax your hips. Because now I don't need to worry about propelling myself. I just need to control and redirect the propulsion. Okay? So you want to figure out a speed that's comfortable, like a normal walking gait. Okay? So if I'm going to walk, normally I walk pretty fast. Let's say I'm walking slow. Can you not attack my amp? My cat was just attacking my, again, this little guitar box I have here that he's killing. But, what do we got here? Okay. So, walking normal speed, right? The idea of Tai Chi is to use natural power, right? Pre-birth power, right? Which is what? How your body naturally moves. So if I'm normally walking at this speed, this is the speed I should fucking do my phone at. Okay? If we're thinking about going into combat applications, okay? Some days I want to stroll, some days I want to run. And this is what George was saying, you want to use the natural energy and rhythm of the body that day, okay? But for this example, if I'm walking at this speed, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's my normal gait. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to be tempo today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? Is that making sense? So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? And the reason why I'm saying this is important because by doing the form so slow, not only are you making yourself less combat effective, but you're creating hidden tension. Okay? A lot of hidden tension. And if I'm wrong, why is it that millions upon millions and millions of people doing Tai Chi suck at it after 20 years? They can't use it, and they'll do the form forever, and they go to play push hand, and they look like, and they're all stuck. Because the insides are stuck. Okay? So try it at home, just like in whatever form you do. Speed it up, not to a running pace, but just to your body's natural walking gait. Okay? So my favorite speed, I'll do it on the left side in case anyone. All right. Okay, fine. So this is, to me, is a good speed to do the form. Because I can feel the wave. I'm not going so fast that I'm going to trip over myself, but I can actually feel the momentum in my body and deal with it. Okay? And I also don't feel that tight, especially in the girdle here, where you should be able to splay your legs out. Like, this looks kind of crazy, but you should be able to do this. Okay? Most of you guys, inside of here is jammed up, right? It's in here and inside here. That's what you need to turn off to allow yourself to deal with momentum. Because that's where most of your power comes from, first from hitting anything. Because Tai Chi boxing is very similar to Western boxing when you actually look at it fundamentally. If I don't argue with William C.C. Chen, you know? He's not a round eye. You can't say that it's me, all right? So try that, try. Because this is really a speed, it's not too fast, but I can lay you out with the speed. This is enough speed for me to really lay somebody down, okay? Believe me. If I weigh 200 pounds and I'm moving, what is that, 20 to 40 miles an hour? You know what I mean? Because how much acceleration is that? I mean, I'm just going to touch the door with my finger. That's a lot. Okay. Let's try it again. One more time. Can you see the door? All right. So I'm just going to walk through it with my finger. Now, How much you weigh? Let's just say the can of vegetables that falls off a counter. Here's an example. And it hits your foot. A 1 to 2 pound can of vegetables falling from a cabinet between 4 and 6 feet is an X amount of pressure that makes you want to cry. So if you seem to weigh 100 to 300 pounds and you're moving at 10 to 30 miles an hour and you hit somebody and condense that force into something inside of a point, that's a lot of damage. Okay? So changing the speed of the form will not only help you with your fighting, but it's also going to help you with your internal stuff. Okay, guys? Yeah. I don't see any of the people. There's always some exception to the rule. Some little Chinese master who did the form so soft and he can do all the stuff. But he's the one in a million. This is a good example of this when I teach someone your default method or modality of learning, right? So you have 5 senses, right? Auditory, visual, kinesthetic, olfactory, okay? But basically all you need to worry about is visual, auditory, and kinesthetic, which is sight, hear, touch. Not everybody learns the same way, which is why a lot of times when I try to do this, I try to explain it, okay, I try to show it, and I try to make somebody feel it. And you hear me always say in my videos, what does it feel like? What does the pressures feel like to you when you experience it? What does it feel like, right? Not everybody learns the same way. And what you seem to happen is, with the Yang style especially, is they have one method, and it's like, well, this method is going to be taught to every single person, and it better work, otherwise, tough luck. And you can see it, millions upon millions of people are doing this form and cannot use it for anything other than saying that, oh, I feel better going to work that day. You might as well put the bachata on, it's like dancing, okay? So I really would think that getting you guys to change the speed of your form and testing out, because I can show you my form, move by move, but I think that it's the concepts that need to be injected across the board into everyone's systems to make this stuff feasible. All right? Anything else I forgot to say? How long I've been ranting for? 27 minutes already. Cool. All right. So we got the speed, we got the shift, right? My form's supposed to take 8 minutes to do, but I try to do it between 4 and 6 because I'm not that old, and I need to be able to use this stuff. Okay, like I don't want to have to second guess if I put my hand on somebody if it's going to hurt them. So now taking this shift, understanding when I do the form slow, I'm trying to do is turn this off and allow myself to fall to the stance. When I'm doing this slow, it's impossible. Even if I'm doing this correct, I'm still overexerting my stabilizer to stop my momentum. So we want to find a space where I can get this teeter-totter thing into a perpetual motion machine, in a sense. Where I get to this, and then I counterbalance. See, my head wants to go this way, my counterbalance with my foot brings me back this way. And I'm looking for this feeling like this, and then I hit the guy with that. Same as a pitcher, right? What are you really doing? Picking up the leg, and then what do you got? Counterweight, 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 counterhold. Okay? That's what the form's trying to teach you, but you're hiding that third class lever in the arm. And again, the third class lever is supposed to be used as a catapult. Okay? It's not supposed to be used as a lever the way that the undirected force, in a sense. Okay? It's a slingshot. All it's supposed to do is accelerate the force that's been projected from the foot and directed by your waist. The expression in the hand is the express lane. Okay? So when I do this here, I do my shift, I turn myself and relax. Now I allow my weight to shift. Okay? By turning off all my stabilizers, I'm going to drunkenly fall towards the guy. Okay? So I'm going to go. That's the feeling I want to have. Okay? To the point where just before that feeling, I'm going to roll into it. Because for fighting, it's what I need. I need to be able to relax this and then dump my entire mass into that side. Okay? So I'm going to dump my weight into that side. That's the idea. Okay? So power is found on the feet, directed by the waist, and express laned in the hands. So this is, I take that feeling of the teeter-tot, I'm literally carrying it in my hand, I'm going to throw it like a fireball. Okay, that's what it should feel like. So I'm here, I shift, I smack. Okay? I'm here, I turn this off, momentum starts, I accelerate the momentum, I shift and I smack. All right? So from this side, I turn this off and I fall in. Okay? Turn this off and I fall in. See, I can almost collapse it into the leg. And that sets the momentum up. And then from there, since I have nothing resisting that, I now add by using the hip and my foot to accelerate that. And at that point, I can either A, use the frame and just hit the whole machine, or B, use that type fucking 3 lever and catapult the energy. Okay? So I take the wave, I feel it coming out, and I accelerate it again. All right? So from here, from here, from here, from here, from here. Okay? So that's the feeling I'm looking for. So that when I hit something, they know they get hit. They know they got hit. I want you guys, you don't have to go as hardcore as I have, because, you know, you're not working in the field doing security, you're not in the ghetto, you're just an average dude, you're doing it for health, whatever. It's still good for you to feel the potential of what Tai Chi's supposed to do. And I would argue that by not having a martial intent, even if you're never going to use it, I don't believe you're getting the health benefit. There's something that happens in your mind when you understand what something does. If I'm thinking, oh, relax, sink the chi, float in space with nothing going on, my subconscious is going to trigger the muscles and actuate them in a different way. Whereas if I'm thinking, I have to remember the force, especially if someone's coming to push me as hard as they can, or someone's trying to punch me in the face, I'm going, oh, I need to sink to this, to that. But the reason I'm doing all this soft stuff is because I have to now get to deal with that guy. And he wants to move me, or he wants to hurt me. So there's a slight difference in the nervous system from my mind having that fear in your head, the survival fight or flight response, even if it's only a 2 millimeter an inch or something, like a quarter of a volt, it's still different. So I would really think that it's a good idea to have the combat application in mind and think, there's somebody here, he's trying to hit me, he's trying to touch my boobs, don't touch my titties. Okay? Don't touch my titties. Okay? So that's the idea. All right? So I'll demo this again. So you can see what I'm talking about. Turn off, and now the lean propels me, and then I catch myself. That's a better way, is catching force. I'm catching my momentum. Okay? I'm trying to make this obvious for you guys. I would never move in this direction, but it makes it more visual for you, okay? So I shift, I'm literally falling into this leg. I'm falling. And walking is just a controlled fall. You know, if I walk, what am I doing? I'm falling into this leg. I'm falling into this leg. And that creates momentum, right? Well, momentum is the first place of power. So deal with momentum first. Now, later on, you know, I say people don't move your elbows, just work with rotations and expansion. Rotate, expand, rotate, expand. Once they're comfortable with that, then from here we start to pressure and start to actually open and close. Okay? So if you notice the beginning of my form, there's Peng Lu Jian twice. So here's a ward off, roll back, press, push, or dot and push, or seal. So here's my ward off, roll back, press, push. And from here I'm going to have half guard. Okay? Ward off, roll back, press, seal, and push. Okay? I just figured I should throw it in there for you guys. Alright. So more of the shifting. Hopefully if you guys see me do it, it'll make more sense to you. So from here, I'm going to drop my weight. I'm going to fall and hit him with my shoulder by falling into him. Okay? I'm going to fall into him. Fall in. Fall in. Okay? Fall in. Same as a back fist. Same as a cover, a low hook punch. It's the same concept. Okay? So I'm here. The punch coming in. I cover. I put my body weight into it. From here, I put my body weight into it. These aren't wrestling techniques. Yes, they are wrestling techniques because we're dealing with vectors, force lines and production. But every single move in Tai Chi is both a strike, a grappling move, and a dislocation or a bone unset. Okay? Every single move. So we're here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? That makes some sense to you guys. I think that covers it. How much time? 35. All right. I think that's good enough for this rant on the stepping and watch change of form. I hope the points were good. So we went over changing the timing to your rhythm of the day, using your normal walking gait, how that feels for you that day. Okay. Using the hip opposite of how you normally would. What we're trying to do is instead of pushing the object, or of pulling an object or pushing an object, if that makes sense. I think that's correct. Let me make sure I'm talking right. So from here, I'm going to fall in, I'm going to push it. I'm going to fall in, I'm going to push it. Okay? I don't want to feel like I'm dragging myself towards something. I want to feel like I'm falling, and as I'm falling, I add to the fall. So I create a momentum loop, and then I accelerate the momentum loop. That's the roundabout way of explaining it. Okay? So I'm here, I create a controlled fall. Okay? As I create the controlled fall, I now accelerate it. Okay? As I create a controlled fall, I accelerate it. Okay? So when you look at Tai Chi this way, it's very easy to see it's a striking arm. Okay? And you can feel it. You can feel it very easily. No faster than this. This speed is more than enough to lay somebody out. Okay, because again, we're dealing with momentum and internal torque and all this other little cool mechanical crap. All right, so I think that's about it. Yeah, that's more than 3 things to you guys. All right, so join the Discord. Get all your other trainer friends to join. Okay, tell them to join before I finish my this training cycle, because I'm gonna start getting diesel again, and then everyone's gonna say, "Oh, he does weights. He can't be doing real Tai Chi," But I gave you guys years of me being out of shape, so I don't want to hear it anymore, okay? No, but seriously, I'm going to try to do a free-form lesson once a month, okay? And I'll be doing online seminars. I'll be hosting the video channel there. So all that private content for for all the guys who subscribe and your friends, it's going to be free. Tell your instructor friends, tell everybody else, come to the Discord. You can use the Discord server for your whole school and all that stuff too. But help me out, because I can't do it by myself, right, guys? Questions, comments, accusations, put them in the Discord. The link will be in the description below. Okay, guys? See you later.